Hello again. Now, it's been a busy weekend in South Africa as the world champion Springboks toured the country to celebrate their Rugby World Cup win. And then we saw the 20th African Growth Opportunity Act Forum also concluding on Saturday. And it took place over 3 days, rather, concluding yesterday. So what do all of this mean for Brand South Africa? Reputation expert Tshepo Matseba is joining us in studio just to help us get some understanding about this. Tshepo, good afternoon. Welcome to today. Thank you very much for coming in.
Good afternoon, Dan. Thank you for inviting us.
Our spirits have been uplifted by the Springboks. Okay, don't talk about the protests yesterday in that game against India. That's something else. But they might just make the semis. But the point is, we've been in the celebratory mood with the Springboks. The world, literally, South Africa has been there for the last week particularly, and the countries. We saw how South Africans came out in their thousands everywhere. But we also, we are a country when we host international events recently, we really do it well. We did the BRICS Summit a few weeks ago. It went very well. We've now just finished the AGOA Forum. Yes, it's about one country, United States, but it involves 30 other African countries, and they were in town. I was at the exhibition at Nasrec, and I interacted with some of our African contemporaries, and everybody is excited about South Africa. But sometimes, after this bubble or this burst of energy and stuff, we just become, again, South Africans, and that we find problems. Today we're talking about water crisis. Those challenges don't go away because you've won a cup. We know that. But how can we leverage these opportunities to really continue building a momentum where we unite ourselves about common causes to build a better country for us all?
Yeah, Braden, thank you so much. Everyone agrees, despite all the challenges that we face as a country, from the energy crisis to the water crisis, but everyone appreciates that this brand, the Springboks brand, and the spirit that they contributed into the current conversation and the mood, especially domestically, has just got people to feel better, to feel that much better. And you need that in the country. You need positive sentiment, because once people feel better, they perform better, they behave probably much better. So the sentiment domestically is incredible. Internationally, one cannot discount the value that we are deriving from the Springboks the Springboks performance. What would have cost us to sponsor Tottenham Hotspur? This team has actually delivered, and they've delivered way more. Remember that the Springboks Brand Finance conducts a study every year, every 3 years, sometimes every year. And in one of those studies, they say that the Springboks is number 6 in the top 6 World Cup rugby teams in the world in terms of brand value. So the rand, New Zealand is the first. But on brand strength, the Springboks actually comes in at the top 4 in that same study. And that just demonstrates, the value of brand is estimated to be at about 2 billion in terms of just the value of the brand. And we are likely to see that significantly improving. What the country should do and what we should be doing, all of us collectively right now, is to build on the technical expertise of the team and talk about how they inspire, how the coach and that team inspires performance, and take that those lessons and apply them in business, but also in our economy and in our service promise to citizens.
So look at it as a kind of a center of excellence of sorts in terms of leadership, how to get things done and how to drive people towards a goal. Because it didn't start yesterday, this Springbok team didn't start yesterday to build. They played in 2019 in Japan, and they went there without expecting to win the trophy. They brought it back home. So you build over time. So there's some things that we can take out and use, as you said, in different spheres of our life.
Absolutely. So it's the 4th time that they are winning this World Cup. But, the strength of the team and what they've done for this nation is technically beyond what you would have expected. And so the value that they've created really takes us on almost, you would want to say, on another level as a country and as a nation brand.
Now, reputationally, the world is almost looking at us. South Africa, somebody wants to visit or invest in South Africa, has not been sure because of all kinds of challenges, including high crime rates. I mean, we are now number 7 in the world when it comes to the global organized crime index that was issued a few weeks ago. I mean, I've done a couple of interviews about that, but the fact is that's a reality. People look at this, I'm not going to go, but with the Springbok kind of thing, I mean, it should benefit the reputation of the country. So, you know what, South Africans can actually deliver.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So the demonstration is that we are capable, we can deliver. Remember that if we apply the same techniques that the team uses, psychologically speaking, we can use the same techniques to fight crime, use the same techniques to address the power issue, and use the same technique to fast track attracting the right level of investors. Remember, the media headlines that we are receiving internationally for this country, that equity is going to live with us and benefit us for a while. So the opportunity is domestically for us to do something, do the right thing. So use the philosophy of how they tackle the issue of rugby and really craft that story so that at some point, the world over, almost like how you see Brazil, and you'll see how Brazilians will, the Brazil jersey in football is worn anywhere in the country, even by people from different countries. When they play against Brazil, they'll still be wearing a Brazilian shirt. You want the Springboks.
Well, we have Brazilians in Mamelodi.
Precisely. You want the Springboks
Yes.
to have that effect on the country so that world over you can see that logo being identifiable with performance and success.
Yeah, in your view, I mean, I was at AGOA, covering AGOA on Friday. ENC was there live, the AGOA forum. It's a different thing, but it was successful from my perspective because I was there interacting with people from different parts of Africa and how they see us and the energy there and the sentiment there. And they want this relationship with America to be extended by at least 10 years, but they want it as well to promote intra-African trade using AGOA as a springboard. So there's a lot of positive thing around it. You may not really trust what Americans want to do with it on the continent because they want to counterbalance the influence of China and all of that. But the point is it's happening, and there's that sense that, you know, South Africa is giving us a base. How do we, from a reputation perspective, build on such successful international events as well that we host in our country?
Yeah, look, for us, this is a great opportunity, especially when we start talking about intra-Africa trade, because all of a sudden we do a lot of great work promoting ourselves internationally, but we actually don't do a great job at promoting us on the continent here in Africa. And so it's an opportunity, and an opportunity for us because we are the top 5 countries. We are the top in terms of extracting value out of AGOA. But most countries, actually 5 countries only, account for 80% of the value derived from AGOA. That tells you that the administration system on the continent is lacking, and therein comes an opportunity for South Africa to say, let us share the expertise, demonstrate case studies of how we've done it and how it really works, and in that sense, you automatically create a pool of potential business, potential opportunities for investment by Africans in Africa to stretch this type of opportunity. So for me, it's a valuable gap that South Africa could actually demonstrate and go and share the expertise, because the administration, the fact that you have access to a market like the US, but you're not capitalizing on it, maximizing the opportunity, means that there's an administrative gap on the continent. And so South Africa could help fulfill that role and thereby create leads for us as a country in terms of growing our investments.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be more good news for us to uplift the sentiment. As you said, it's really been uplifted, and hopefully, as you said, we could use those lessons to drive other change that we want in society. Thank you very much, Tshepo.
Thank you.
That's Tshepo Matseba, reputation expert, here on Today with us as we wrap just how it's been like and what we can do going forward as a country.